Okay, so this video popped up in my recommended and it piqued my interest. It's called The Tumultuous Tale of Jasana Flex. Not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but apparently it's about this furry, I don't know, and it's by Lanza. It's about 41 minutes, and I was like, all right, I'm reacting to this. A furry? A tumultuous tale? I'm in, all right? So, yeah, let's just get into this. Really no time to waste. Jasana Flex. Let's hear about this individual. Very interesting swag to start off the bat. Like, what exactly are we representing here? We got some sort of a dragon creature with the Andrew Tate cigar, with the Andrew Tate sunglasses. Is this the alpha male of the furry community? The top F, the top furry? Imagine he's on, you know, this guy does like the Red Pill podcast. What's like a submissive animal? The female dragons need to cook for me. Anyway, making assumptions. This person could be great.
This is an artist in the furry fandom known for his NSFW art pieces of a multitude of characters.
Couldn't even last 5 fucking seconds, bro.
Given this is how furries get popular from within that fandom, he became very well known within those ranks, and even hosted a series of podcasts on his YouTube channel during the initial claim to fame before shutting it down. His name will become mired with controversy sooner or later as expected from this side of the internet, because let's just say just because he's a good artist, it doesn't mean he's a good person. Shout out to the Patreon members as always, and if you'd like to support
I feel like, did that have to be said? I mean, the dude draws furry bestiality, well, I don't really know the definition of bestiality, but he draws furry pornography. Were we really expecting this guy to be like a Mr. Beast tier guy? Like a stand-up individual that you would want to show to the kids and, you know what I mean, like take inspiration from?
Jason Effects and his internet presence started sometime in 2010.
Is he mewing? Why is he rizzing me up? What is this light skin stare? Again, I guess this one's more of a joint, so he's getting faded than a hoe, going to Yodi land, whereas in the other one, he had a cigar. But this guy's really, he's like looks maxing, very peculiar.
And his internet presence started sometime in 2010 by posting Team Fortress 2 related content on YouTube, and even made some NSFW fan art of the Power character as well.
Dude, why? Why is this something that people spend their free time doing? Get a normal hobby. I swear, like, when did it become like normal to have this as your hobby? Or when did this just become something that you could say 40 seconds into a YouTube video and no one bats an eye? Like, when did this happen? Like, I don't know. Like, I have friends, they read. I have friends who they DJ. Friends who they go to the gym. You know, all sorts of unique, eclectic hobbies. Never once do I have friends or have I encountered someone who does fucking furry and TF2. Like, I'm sorry, but if it was my country and I created the laws, we would have a Salem witch trial sort of thing where the town votes on you and you eventually get, you know what I mean?
It'll come out that these pieces are actually—
At Acheeto, are you pansexual? Unfortunately for you, I'm not. I figured that's a question you asked due to your interest.
actually traced from other artworks, with him
I like Latina gats, alright?
responding as such when called out about it in a thread in February 2012, saying that people do it all the time and yada yada yada. This—
Buddy, no. That's not something you do. Bro, everybody does this. It's the new thing. Drawing NSFW of TF2 characters is in. Being a normal person is out. Like, no. Guys, a lot of people do this stuff.
His lack of actual art skill despite branding himself as an artist wouldn't stop him, however, as he would become—
This is low-key why I want AI to take over. Well, I don't, but like if I was to and I saw this, I'd be like, yeah, hopefully this guy takes all the AI artist jobs.
popular for making a multitude of furry porn animations starting February 1st, 2012.
Dude, on God, you need to be stopped immediately. I'm hoping that someone enters your house and completely destroys your computer without asking any sort of permission, bro. Straight up destroy it. Crofu with the $10 donation. Slight related note, I can't wait for Dragon's Dogma 2 Friday, but you can be a cat person, so you can imagine it will attract those that Darwinism missed. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Either I can't read or you can't write. Something just did not work out with that one.
He would post a shit ton of these animations using other pieces of artwork and would soon become a popular figure in the furry fandom, gaining upwards of 5 million page views on the site for Affinity as of today. As he started to gain money from this hobby, he would start to draw his own artwork and animations.
Hey, yo.
However, it would come out that his girlfriend Kabir was doing the actual drawings themselves. He was just doing the animations in After Effects and posting them on the internet for sweet clout. Granted, the animations did credit the actual artist and whatnot, so while not egregious or anything, the fact he doesn't really do any of the legwork himself is none too surprising when remembering the TF2 tracing. In fact, this recurring theme of not really being the actual worker would become more apparent as time went on, as he would end up launching a dating game sim named Amorous to much fanfare, only for people to find
Holy shit, bro. Okay, I'm gonna hold my peace. I want to get the rest of this stuff.
Not much work at all.
Hey, Cheeto, do you recognize all of this? Oh, that's really funny, because I'm a furry. No, I'm not. All right, not funny. I don't recognize any of these. I've never seen furry NSFW, okay?
Kabir is the one drawing the assets to be used, and he would outsource the coding and whatnot to people who have actual experience making games. Things wouldn't go smoothly, however, as people were leaving the project due to poor management, with someone coming out that he did 1,300 hours of work for only $3,000 as he publicly quit on Twitter in January 2018. A handful of emails and Discord DMs will leak out, and while most of it is just a bunch of bitching and moaning about how each of them have shitty lives and stressors and call each other gaslighters and such, an email from Kabir hints that he was actually paid 3.5k for all his work, alongside more complaining about how her life sucks more. Basically, to sum it up, all three of them playing the oppression Olympics, and Rupert was mad Jason was unprofessional with him. To be fair here,
I'm more curious as to what this game actually lets you do. Like, I get there's drama in terms of the development of the game, but I'm more interested in the bigger picture. You know, y'all getting lost in the details, you know what I mean? Like, Lanza, I love you, but my dude, like, can we talk about this game for a second? You're using it as B-roll footage. We got Lex typing a chat message here. Safest place downtown, dude. The club bouncer is always prowling around. Like, this isn't how normal human beings talk, for the record. And even if they're fucking in the backs of their cars, there's a, what are you saying? On God, bro. You failed in some point of your life. Like, this is not something that you spend time to create. Oh my God. And on God, like, you literally have two furries literally looking at each other in the eyes about to make some furry love over here in the back. Just actually peculiar.
Three of them playing the oppression Olympics, and Rupert was mad Jason
I'm glad all these people are having trouble working together. He got upset and chewed me out, calling me unprofessional, and proceeded to gaslight me. Okay, Rupert. Wow, what a catastrophe, bro. This guy called you unprofessional? I think this entire thing is unprofessional. How do you really become professional in this environment to begin with? You know what I mean? It's like, how professional can you really get in this industry? You know what I mean? It's like being a professional shit eater. Oh, yes, this one is quite poopy. Like, you know, you sound smart, you're still eating shit.
It's safe to say he spent 4 months of his time on the project. I don't know much about indie game development, but that's definitely on the
What is going on with Blood's eyebrows?
smaller side in terms of payment and hours worked. And so this was the first real look at Jason in a light that wasn't people praising him constantly, which got people looking to him further. Now, of course, alongside Kabir's email was also Jason's email that was leaked, which shows the guy talking down to the former employee in question and just being an overall dick to him because he quit after their petty argument on Discord. It's full of a bunch of needless jabs at the guy for no reason other than to epically own someone after pissing him off in Discord. Given this wasn't part of the initial argument they had, but rather afterwards when both parties were calmed down by this point, it shows that Jason at the very least has this need to make someone feel below him in order to satiate his own ego. The situation
Alright, so Jason was developing this game and then he shit on someone who was working for him, I guess.
Overall, to put it bluntly, was on the more tamer side of things, as nothing here was of actual interest save for Jason being a dick, but people take a look at it and start to notice some patterns with the man. This email wasn't the only time Jason was seen arguing over virtually nothing, as before this he was known on going on the site E621 and arguing with anyone who called his work trash. There was even an instance where people started to mass downvote one of his comics because the writing was bad, and he would bitch at the mods to take the downvotes away so much that they straight up deleted it off the site because he was that—
Yo, at what point do you decide to log off? You're arguing with furry— What even is this website? This isn't even Reddit. This is some weird Reddit furry alternative that you just used to post furry NSFW content, and you literally had a mental breakdown, panic attack, psychopathic episode because your comic got downvoted. Brother, if this is not a sign that you have psychopathy, I don't know what is. At what point do you decide there's a power button on my computer, I should press it? Jeez Louises. Hot diggity damn, this guy needs to touch some grass. Genuinely, like, just stroke the grass.
That annoying to deal with? Meaning this guy definitely likes to argue a lot. He's even gone on record stating he just scans the site to reply to butthurt people and that it doesn't matter what the haters say because he's popular and successful, again, letting that ego of his slip a bit. Speaking of that comic being deleted off the site, later on in January 2018, he would get into another argument on the site because people said they didn't like his ego, and he would go on a reply and chastise or challenge pretty much anyone that dared say anything.
Who has time for this? Take it to a publisher! Like, I'm reading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. I literally don't, like, I have to carve out time to write this quantity of text for a school assignment. Meanwhile, Blood's doing this for free. Oh my God, take it to Substack, somewhere you can monetize this. He's literally just yapping into a void. Oh my, and he's got grammar corrected and everything. Apostrophes, no run-on sentences. This is grammatically completely fluent, and I honestly kind of am scared about that. Why is it written so well?
Remotely bad about him because that's just how he is. And he would do this for a very, very long time. Someone would even bring up the comic itself, in which he would say it was because the viewers were mad it started off as a gay comic but had a straight ending, implying that...
Hello?
She would say it was because the viewers were mad it started off as a gay comic but had a straight ending,
What is this community, actually? So people are mad that he wrote a gay comic that had a straight ending? What are we doing here? On Jose Onfroy.
The gays were the ones
Based?
downvoted it, and pretty much going completely conspiracy mode on everyone reading the shitfest go down. After some more posting about how it was actually people being entitled now rather than what he implied before, he and his work would get banned off the site due to this behavior, cementing himself as a locale from within the furry fandom. Now by this point in time, Jason was just known as a really annoying and abrasive person. There was nothing here exactly big to note, he just had an ego and couldn't help but to always try to make himself look better and make the other person look bad or feel wrong about something, and was generally just argumentative and insecure. Going into the month of February, he would continue to argue with random people on Twitter over literal nothings because they called his opinion bad or whatever.
Okay, so far all I've gathered is that he has way too much free time, argues with people on this mysterious dark web furry website, and failed to develop a game, I think, and got mad at someone for that too. I'm more curious, what is this tomfoolery section? Tomfoolery, buffoonery, an infamous call, degeneracy, present day. Alright, we got a lot to get into, so strap in.
Again, showing that insecurity Slippy more and him just having to epically own or prove these people wrong, including posting this debate pyramid that he became known for throwing around. This would go on for a damn long time too, because the dude just couldn't let it go and needed to argue with a bunch of people for making fun of him. What's important to note is that his ego came from barely any of his work per se, as he's only animating other people's art pieces rather than drawing his own, and even with Amorous he was just the manager rather than the actual worker on the project. While one can argue about what is work and what is
that Lucario? Actually ruined my childhood in about 5 seconds right there. You're disgusting. That's literally Lucario from Pokemon. And these people who are addicted. They're addicted to touching their own wieners. They just ruined it for me. What the fuck is on my screen right now?
He was just the manager rather than the actual worker.
Yo, like, what?
On the project. While one can argue about what is work and what is managing, we're not here to talk about that, as overall, the consensus on the guy was that he was an asshole.
Like, what the actual fuck?
Not really worth your time, but given he was so popular, people would still flock around him because—
And 37,000 people were like, okay, this rocks. Seems good to me.
That's generally how things work. Hell, he even got his own toy made on the Bad Dragon.
What? The actual fuck?
Still flock around him because that's generally how things work. Hell, he even got his own toy made on the Bad Dragon website, so his popularity in the furry fandom wasn't anything to scoff at. Of course, just being an asshole doesn't warrant anything interesting to talk about, but don't worry, because Jason here decided to take things a step further in a direction that's not unexpected. Due to Amorous not updating—
I'm having a bad day, and this made it 10 times worse!
Very often, the goals on the game's Patreon page weren't being met in time, which annoyed some people. Eventually, after getting things back together, Jason put a post on his Furfinity telling those that are backing to a certain level to contact him if they still want their character in the game, and any people that don't contact him would lose their spots and he would sell them off. That's right, the people who are paying for
that— Nah, that's not the Dragon Balls I want to grab. Facts.
Characters to have a chance to be featured in the game now had to directly contact him or lose a spot, basically just trying to—
I'd like to order a drink, ask him about the club, flirt, walk away.
to screw over those that have been supporting the project despite 8 months of absence for some potential—
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Avin the Avian? What is this game? Bro, Lanza, I feel like this might be your own footage. Like, you low-key got invested in this game and, like, was playing this shit. Why does he look like that? Motherfuckers supported this.
extra cash. At one point, he would straight up deny someone who won a raffle because they didn't want NSFW artwork of their character and would try to pull from the list again.
That is literally the porn addict final boss move right there. You have a persona and you want to be in my game, but you don't want porn drawn of you, so you're not going to be in my game. It's actually insane. At what point do I get to say that this person is a lost cause? Like, I know that there's this idea of, like, rehab and that, like, oh, you're in a dark time and you'll make it out. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, at what point are you kind of done? You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? I personally don't know if there is a assistance quantity enough to help you out of this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if there's like a group or a person or a vaccine or a cure for what you're kind of dealing with.
And after seeing this, another artist will step in and do it himself after seeing Jason screwed him over. Jason...
Oh, wait, he put him in the game. I thought he drew the NSFW thing without his consent.
Will then leave another passive-aggressive comment because he got epically owned. And people would immediately catch on to this, as this was around the beginning when they started to notice he was a dick. Now, these examples are pretty tame and can be dumbed down to just general dumb fuckery, but the next one is where things get weird. On October 2nd, 2015, Jason would put up a GoFundMe link asking for $3K as he needed money to fix up a shack he was living in. He'd go on to talk about how he just...
You literally live in here, bro. You live in here. You live in an Amazon box. This is where you live. You live in a graham cracker house. Your fucking walls are made of Lincoln logs. Like, you have cotton candy insulation. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry at all. When you spend hours every fucking day typing paragraphs, fact-checked, grammar-checked, sources cited for hours, and the other hours are spent making a furry game where you can't make the entire game because the guy doesn't consent to having his fursona NSFW-ified, so you can't use that asset in your game, and you're generally cucked from proceeding in life because of your own problems. I don't really feel bad that you live inside a Clash of Clans builder's hut, you know?
GoFundMe link.
Thank you, Gobby Scribble, for the $1.
Asking for $3K as he needed money to fix up a shack he was living in. He'd go on to talk about how he just moved from Australia to Canada to live with Kabir, but that her father was trying to kick them out of the house. So they took refuge in a small shack on a property and needed to fix it up to be livable in.
Okay, right, but like, bro, you're like a deadbeat.
Them out of the house. So they took refuge in a small shack on a property and needed to fix it up to be livable in.
Like, get a fucking job.
Dilapidated state. It's very clear the shack was in bad shape, so bad that they had no space for beds and as far as I can tell had no bed at all. And so they needed the money, so people would happily supply $3K.
Imagine pulling up to Shorty crib and it's this.
And then some, as at this point nobody knew he was an asshole just yet. Instead of using the money for the shack, however, he would instead spend it on a purebred Shiba Inu dog 2 months later in December.
Okay, I have several comments. 1, horrible spending of your money. 2, why? I don't know, something about furries adopting animals. It just kind of makes me uncomfortable just in general. Like, I just don't know why you think... All right, like, hear me out on this. If I'm attracted to minors... Pause. Full stop. Okay, I'm gonna say that again. We're gonna try that again. If I'm a pedophile... All right, let's say I'm a pedophile. Should I be allowed to adopt children? No. Type shit. That's sort of where I'm going. If you're a furry and you're attracted to animals, attracted to humans dressing up as animals, I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to adopt this cute dog.
For those that know, these dogs run for a hefty price and ain't cheap at all. He would talk about how he and Kabir had their eyes on this dog for a while and that they finally bit the bullet and bought it, even notably saying that they needed to go to the pet store to buy doggy stairs for him to get into bed, despite supposed—
Like, imagine you not going to the human store for your wants and needs, but sharing the same store that your fucking dog needs. Like, where the dog sees a toy, so does the human, you know?
Supposedly having no bed at all to begin with. You can also see how the post was made in 2015 too, meaning that within the span of just 2 months, Jason and Kabir were able to get enough—
And you have to think of the mentality to brag about your new dog to a bunch of furries as well.
Money to not only fix up
Sus.
the shack, but also get a very expensive, luxurious dog breed. It's pretty obvious what actually happened here.
Yeah, and he lives in a fucking Minecraft house, so like, let's get real for a second.
They wanted a Shiba Inu and so made a GoFundMe under the guise of fixing up an old shack, when in reality they just scammed people out of $3K and some change. After furries figured out they just got scammed by both Jason Effects and Kabir, some of them turned on them as no one likes getting scammed, including posting some pretty base stuff about Jason's constant meltdowns and how they misuse their money just to rub salt in the wound, cause why the hell not? Now, I mentioned earlier how he was arguing with a bunch of people on Twitter over pointless stuff. Well, this would go on for a lot longer because he wouldn't shut up and let it go, and eventually this attitude would rub off into Kabir as she would shit on some random artist and start to brag about how she's so much more successful than them and all that over some petty arguments stemming from who knows what. On April 18, 2018, Kabir would announce they plan on getting married and are now engaged, and just 10 days later would announce another gaming creation despite just finishing up Amorous a few months prior. That game would get cancelled rather quickly as just 2 months later the 3D modeler they hired dropped out of the project due to Jason and Kabir being rude or whatever. And later on at Anthrocon 2018, Jason would get into a pissing match with the horsecock song guy Pepper Coyote.
What was that sentence?
And later on at Anthrocon 2018, Jason would get into a pissing match with the horsecock song guy Pepper Coyote.
What?
Later on at Anthrocon 2018, Jason would get into a pissing match with the horsecock song guy Pepper Coyote.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
And later on at Anthrocon 2018, Jason would get into a pissing match with the horsecock song guy, Pepper Coyote, over each of them running from a fight or whatever because they're both such strong and tough guys, everybody.
What are you saying right now?
Kabir even chimed in trying to get the dude in trouble for drinking alcohol of all things, because two scammers gotta stick by each other after all. Some more leaks of Jason saying racist shit would come out among stuff about Nazis and culture war with some unknown force or whatever. And then a leak of the Smash Bros. Sonic Fox talking to him about
Chat, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now, bro. All these furries look the same. Jason Fox, well, Jason Effects, okay? Sonic Fox, they all look the same, bro. I'm furious. They look the same to me.
bad people come out, which to be honest wasn't the most unexpected thing. Throughout the next few months, he would kind of just be a laughingstock within the furry fandom, with people shitposting about him and his Twitter antics, and him poking the bear constantly by posting shit that would obviously piss him off. Of course, he would get into another argument stemming from the last image we just saw, and the same song and dance would continue for way too long once again because nobody would get over it and just walk away and get off the internet. Jason Effects and Kabir would continue down this path of idiocracy they made for themselves. Jason Effects and Kabir would continue down this
Like, why would you illustrate this? What am I looking at right now? How do you explain this to anybody born before 1980? Like, what? I know I have, like, furries that watch my stuff, but, like, I'm not even trying to be hateful, but I'm looking at something on my monitor, and this thing is, like, someone just said I'd hit. All right. like, what am I doing right now, bro?
path of idiocracy they made for themselves, such as publicly endorsing Shadman of all people, which let me tell you,
Okay, so that's already pretty bad. So Jessona Flex endorses Shadman, who literally illustrates CP, and he drew a sexual drawing of Keemstar's 9-year-old daughter. Shadman is not based, bro. That's a lolicon. That's the same person who Chris Tyson endorsed.
and Kabir would continue down this path of idiocracy they made for themselves, such as publicly endorsing Shadman of all people,
That's great. What a great look.
which let me tell you, that dude's worth an entire video himself.
Like, I'm cooked. I'm actually cooked.
Jason would make a handful of posts on his Furfinity page about the furry fandom and stuff that generally doesn't matter other than complaining about how he doesn't like how it currently is. And even at one point tried to brag about how his page is the most popular on the site, with Shadman himself even throwing shade at him. He would also talk about the Cure the Wolf situation and try to turn it into some weird message about woke furries versus fringe furries. Basically some really cringe stuff about how the fans hold all the power and stuff that nobody really gives a fuck about. Kabir would also start to talk shit about Sonic Fox on her Gab account, and then straight up go mask off later as she's now gone
What? Yo, read this, bro. He is black, furry, and gay. Local...
completely insane and off the rails due to Jason's influence throughout the years. She would then lock the account after realizing the massive mistake she just made, and someone would get into an argument in Twitter DMs with Jason about the post, which can basically be summed up as Jason and Kabir epically owning the libtards by saying edgy stuff because they don't.
So this guy Jason and his friend Cab posted this racist homophobic meme to own the libs and SJWs. But like, aren't all the libs and SJWs on your fucking team? Aren't they all furries too?
Like them, and the other dudes flabbergasted at this approach, alongside the expected drawn-out argument. Jason would put out another super long-winded post about how she's dipped from Twitter and her life is so much better now and stuff like that, alongside the expected anti-woke rhetoric he's been saying for a while now. Kabir would go mostly quiet after the Sonic Fox stuff, though she would draw a fan art of PewDiePie after the—
Like, this guy literally had a dragon dildo made from his character, but he's anti-woke? Hello? I'm sorry, but I just don't know if you're allowed. Also, this is insane to have on my screen. I don't know how you're anti-woke when you're shipping out plastic in the shape of a penis, but it's a dragon penis that you designed. Are you really fighting, like, the woke mob when that's what you're doing?
infamous bridge clip to try and get some positive attention from his fans, and PewDiePie would even react to it in a video of his on his YouTube channel, obviously not knowing anything about her. She would then call out another artist for charging 2.5k for an art piece and argue about it, only for people to quickly remind her she sold the characters from the Amorous game for thousands as well, even having stipulations basically meaning they keep the rights to the character while getting an easy 1k from whatever poor soul bought them. Someone who bought one of the characters even hooked me up with their own DMs with the man, which can be summed up as, oh yeah, you can buy all the art you want, but we'll keep the character. Basically meaning you can't do anything with the actual character and you just wasted a bunch of money. Jason would even spend it at one point in time after someone sent in a ticket regarding his
Like, what?
just wasted a bunch of money. Jason would even
He goes by the Jiggler, like an actual Batman villain.
in time after someone sent in a ticket regarding his and Kabir's history, so she would nuke her own page in response to this, and Jason would come out and say it was only for 2 weeks so nothing here was definite. In response to this, Jason moved to Newgrounds to delegate his FA and Twitter for just promoting his streams and nothing more, linking his Gab profile for people to follow him on there. Kabir would disable her FA account going into 2019, only to re-enable it just 3 days later. Jason would start up his own company during this time, and then would even reply to one of Kiro's posts about leaving the furry fandom or whatever, saying that he's matured and learned from it, completely forgetting the dude unironically fucks animals. A couple weeks ago,
Well, they don't call him the Jiggler for nothing, so that's what you call some of that W-Riz. On a side note, I feel like I should say this at this point in the video because every furry who's watching my video who's clicked off, if any of you are still here, I'm assuming you basically disavow any and all of this. Now, make no mistake, I still think you're a weird person. I probably wouldn't hang with you, but if you're watching my content, I appreciate that. You probably get why I'm saying what I'm saying, and don't take it personally. But like, in what world can anyone defend this?
with nothing interesting going on, with the only notable occurrence being Jason himself acknowledging the Kiwi Farms thread that was made on him, how people keep finding all this information on him and Kabir, and another Twitter argument that ended with this amazing one-liner from him. In fact, the man of the hour would finally make an appearance himself on his Kiwi Farms thread on March 21st, 2019, basically just promoting his social pages and talking down to them in the process. He would chat amongst the board going about his typical argumentative way, including his classic logical fallacy approach that he's become very known for to epically own someone and avoid responding to a question. He would go on to argue with the users over all this because what else do you expect him to do? And even posted the infamous pyramid image as hilarity ensued. He would go on to shit up the thread and ignore pressing questions while trying to talk down to everyone while also posting a lot of Jordan Peterson clips for some reason. Jason would even try to boast when someone posted a link to his livestream how he had 5% of their viewers from the site, only for people to find out he had a total of 60 viewers, making it just 3 that actually bothered to watch. He would say, actually it was 500 people total to epically own him, and then people would bring up how that's paltry numbers given he's the self-proclaimed most popular creator on Furaffinity. He would make his final post on the site on March 31st trying to promote a video of his again, and since then hasn't knowingly been back. Overall, it was just a fun little waste of time for the users to see one of their favorite lolcows enter their space for some time. After all this, things would die down for the next couple years. Kabir would make and abandon an Instagram page, they would sell off yet another character from Amorous, and they would both get into streaming to a paltry number of people to regain
during Ramadan. So, okay, let's just unpack what the fuck is on my screen right now. We got an individual doodling, a dragon whose internal organs are displayed, a lion who's being drawn with an anime girl up there, a beast of some sort playing on an iPad, a dripped out dinosaur dragon thing with headphones in a gaming chair in the bottom right corner, and League of Legends gameplay juxtaposing this entire spectacle, and I am just left with more questions than answers.
into streaming to a paltry number of people to regain any sort of goodwill from the furry fandom. Jason would post more tone-deaf stuff about Kira the Wolf, Kabir's Patreon would continue to falter, they would get married on September 7, 2019, take a vacation to both Australia and Japan to celebrate, get suspended on Twitch for some unknown reason, and then announce they'd be taking a step back from streaming after not getting the numbers they wanted, hiding it under the guise of working on a new video game, Bare Backstreets, an old project
What a horrible title.
that Jason had been trying
Bare Backstreets, bro.
People are still trolling Jason though, as a statue of his character would go up for auction and they would mass bid on it to raise the price of upwards of 16k just to piss everyone off, causing him and the website owners to dig through all the troll email accounts to get everything working right again. In February 2020, they had to change up their comic Bareback Valley because Patreon banned humans and furry characters doing it with each other, and they
Holy. Oh my god.
2020, they had to change up their comic Bareback Valley because Patreon banned humans and furry characters doing it with each other, and they needed that sweet money. And he would continue to argue with people on Twitter because of his insecure ego.
Bro got furrified.
He would end up creating a website where he posts the artwork Kabir drew. They would hire 2 people to work with him and probably underpay them just like that one guy. And he would get Kabir to reconcile with their father and make him a fan of Jordan Peterson in the process. Jason would start to argue with people on Telegram for whatever reason. Arguing with those reminded him he just piggybacks off the work of Kabir and others. And continue to bring up annoyances from another argument because that's all this guy does is argue with people on the internet. Some more Telegram argument would commence because people don't like him and it's funny to see him get angry, including what looked like to be him and another troll setting up for a real life fight because they're both internet tough guys like
I jest. You'd run away or not even turn up. Keep walking, boy. Let's meet up then, says Dark Cell Kitten. Jason on Flex, don't start a fight. You can't win. Oh shit. We got a few Sigmas throwing hands here. Dude, realistically, let's keep it a buck. These are two furries. They pull up and they start profusely making out with each other. So you want to fight? Yeah, I want to fight. You know what I mean? Just straight up, instantly tonguing each other. Like, they have one thing in common that not many people have in common, and you're telling me they're just gonna fight? Also, who the f ironically says, I jest? Is this the 1720s? I jest? Like, blood's not performing for the royalty. Oh, I jest. I jest. The most Discord dialect I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god. And look at this guy too. What a great profile picture this guy's got. I mean, wow. Talk about cutie patootie. Hello. Wow. Hey, looking sharp, buddy. Look, I'm not gonna say it, but there is this thing called looks maxing. You know? Just saying.
Now, Jason has said that he doesn't use Telegram, and there was no hard evidence of telling it was him or not, but it's leaning in the direction that was most likely him based off the constant arguing that he—
Bro talks like an 1800 Englishman and acts like a modern loser and degenerate. Literally. He probably smells like Takis too, as this chatter says.
he's known for. He and Kabir get a house together. Kabir go at Sonic Fox again because she's stupid. And Sonic Fox would easily BTFO her because it's not very hard to do when you made a post like that a couple of years ago. Jason would then try to get Sonic Fox cancelled on Twitter because he hates him. Kabir would jump in as well after getting destroyed, and basically they just bitch and moan again because that's all they do outside their art business. Kabir would also complain about how she's tried to change even though she was the one who went at Sonic Fox first, so that was just more butthurt coming from her. Someone would get Jason banned on Twitter, and the very next day he would post about the current state of the furry community on his Furfinity account, basically just maudling about getting banned and trying to hide it behind paragraphs of unrelated stuff. Come the year 2021, he'll make a post in early January asking people to join them in the development of a brand new furry art platform after hating on all the other sites because everyone makes fun of him. 3 months later in April, he'll become known as Project Felden, with him again asking people to help them create the site throughout the upcoming summer. The website would get delayed due to legal shit according to him. He would get unbanned on Twitter a whole year later as well, and on October 17th, 2021, he would announce—
Bro, he tagged his wife in his Discord server and goes, me and wife are soon to be parents. I'm grateful to be in good health, married, and on our own to safely start a family. And then he draws him and his wife as furries riding on a jet ski into the sunset. Like, dude. Also, this kid, your kid, bro, you're soon to be parents. Like, no offense, hold on. Your kid, low-key doomed from the start. You know what I mean? Like, it's a spawn kill. Your kid's gonna grow up and he's gonna learn who you are as a father, and it's gonna basically plague you until the day you are either emancipated, become an adult, until the day you die, honestly. Like, if you die before your dad, just so you know, your dad's gonna get on all fours and start kicking the dirt onto your grave with his back 2 feet, like a dog. How a dog buries his own poop, because that's who your father is. Bad seed, unfortunate. Look, it's just not good. It's not great, and it is what it is. The game was rigged from the start, and like, dude, the mom too. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but it is genetically impossible for the girl he married to have that much curves, like, naturally. Like, bro, let's just be honest. Like, this is flattering, you know? Like, this shape here is just not realistic.
17th, 2021, he would announce that he and Kabir are having a kid. That would end up being short-lived, however, as he would announce it wouldn't make it to birth. And months later, they would be announced as the guest of honor at the Free For All Furry Convention. Now, for those more familiar with JSONFX and Kabir, you may have noticed a couple of notable events not being talked about just yet. I originally wrote them up in the day-by-day fashion that I normally do, but I scrapped that altogether as the flow was stunted and awkward in reading the script. Alongside that, these situations deserve their own little section to discuss about, so without further ado, let's get right into the real story of JSONFX and Kabir, and more importantly, JSONFX himself. JSONFX here has had a string of very concerning posts on what he thinks about bestiality, such as saying it should only be in the context of the comic, making a post on F8 thinking about starting up a comic just like that and asking people for their opinions, approving someone to join art of his character like that, and going on some weird spiel about how he doesn't see the issue because the dog has its needs, but also still says it should be illegal.
I don't see why indulging in something they're obviously seeking is so harmful. You would think leaving a pet alone all day would be doing more harm than helping it climax. Hello? This guy adopted a fucking dog. What is Blood saying? Bro basically just said, like, yeah, you know, like, I'd rather help my dog nut than leave it alone while I do groceries. You're cooked. Like, how do you even defend this, bro? Like, on Jase Onfroy, there's just simply no way for you to defend this. I do think it should be illegal. Oh, he thinks it should be illegal, though. That's good. Because we all know, like, he wouldn't break the law for his own desires, right? Like, he's like a self-controlled adult. Surely he respects the law. Surely he's a law-abiding citizen who wouldn't harm his dog, right? Right, guys?
Basically a wishy-washy statement trying to jump both sides of the argument for whatever reason. Some people on Twitter pull up these archives, and Jason would try to shift things and say since it's not a direct link, it's all just Photoshop. Someone would pull up the exact archive link once more, and he would again try to pull off that same talking point despite archives literally being hard evidence of his very own words that he put out. Someone would point this out yet again, and he would then try to shift the narrative to people being a bunch of desperate stalkers because he knew that they epically owned him in a convo and he needed to detour the argument to keep going. It indeed did go on, but it's not of any importance as it was derailed by this point with more pointless arguing after he got caught red-handed saying all that stuff. He's also known for collaborating with Kabir on a comic called Man's Best Friend with Benefits, which you can already.
What? Jail. No chance of parole. The West has fallen, bro. Yo, this is insane. I'm tweeting this, hold on. How do you spell arrest? Kidding. Imagine that. Maybe free speech was a mistake.
With that being said, these two instances are on the surprisingly tamer side of things of what we're about to go over, because as you've known by now, these two ain't exactly the best people in the world. On December 10, 2017,
how is this on the tamer
come
side?
out on Twitter and claimed she had a situation go down at the current house she was living in and that she was going to be taking a break off social media because of it. Jason would reiterate the same thing and imply it was because her roommate was a sociopathic predator, while still keeping it vague as to what exactly went down. Kabir would say that it was sexual assault and that for the past week she's been struggling to deal with it, also stating that she went to the police and gave them a statement on what went down. People find out this person was known as Bleakley, and for a while the case was pretty much dead on a public scale as it was being handled by the police. For the next year and a half, nothing new would come out about this, until one day on March 3rd, 2019, a brand new Kiwi Farms user would drop a link, and in that link was an audio file named December 10th, a 55-minute recording of what truly went down that day. The clip starts right in the middle of them arguing about something, with Kabir herself especially going off on this guy in a fit of rage, claiming that she'll do whatever it takes to make sure people don't trust him no more.
Hello? I don't want you having anything to do with my friends. I'm gonna tell all my friends how much of a piece of fucking shit you are, and how emotionally abusive you are. I'm fucking destroying you. That's it. You think you had a social circle? Nah, not anymore. You fucked with the wrong person.
She continues to berate Bleakley some more, and we finally get a hint of what this argument stemmed from.
And pull their fucking hearts. Yes, you are.
Paying rent is not being abusive. It could be.
It's not about paying rent. You live here for free.
Well, that's my family.
Well, then you can fucking live with them. How about you tell them the truth?
Yeah, you can live with your family. Tell them that you dropped out of...
I just don't take these people seriously. I think we're gonna skip past this. I mean, all these people are deranged, I think. What is present day?
In which the banner shows all three of them happily hanging around together, and if it wasn't clear already, it was certain by now. Jason and Kabir roped this woman away from her family, and all three of them are now in some sort of polyamorous relationship.
Great, and they all lived happily ever after.